experiencing that joy of being a filmmaker and being a filmmaker in this moment when I can fully embrace it. Because for a long time, I thought people were laughing at me when I said I was a filmmaker, or I was kind of laughing at myself. I didn't really kind of wear it in the way that I really believed it. I had to make a couple films to really feel like I was legitimate. And so when I put all this on and I go out on set, I am who I feel I should be. And I'm only able to be that because I took off something 3 years ago in 2010 that was inhibiting me from being that. And that was my desperation. So I wore my desperation like a coat. Like, it was definitely the first thing you saw when you met me, because it was draped over everything I said, everything I felt, everything I thought, everything I did. It had to be the first thing you saw when you met me, because it's the first thing I see when I meet a lot of people, right? In a tweet, in an email, after a Q&A, I see just this heavy coat of sinking, desperate to get whatever it is you're trying to make made. I was desperate. I was sitting right there. And I think for a while you're in info gathering mode, right? You come to these gatherings and you're trying to figure out, am I interested in this? Can I do this? What is this about? What is this whole independent film thing? How do I get it done? And that's the cool part of it. But when it tips over into the part that you say, I want to do this, you get into a dangerous area, because you can miscalculate what you're giving out. And that becomes the death nail in the way that people are responding to you. So let me try to explain that a little bit more. During that time when I was very desperate, acting in a desperate manner, I needed help to proceed, right? I needed a break. I needed to nail the pitch. I needed someone to say yes. I needed a mentor. I needed a green light. I needed access. I needed the secret password. I needed a rich uncle. I needed everything I didn't have so that I could make my movie and tell my story. And that desperation was like an emotional pain that I was carrying. I mean, literally, it was the first thing. I could be saying words like, yeah, I've written the script and whatever I'm saying, I've applied to this lab or whatever, but it was coming out in a way that was not from a place of empowerment. And that's the difference. And during that time, I was feeling like, this is so big what I want to do. It's so big what you all want to do or what you're doing. And the odds are against you. I mean, the odds were so against me, doubly so. Being black, being a woman, never having gone to film school, not having access, not having a rich uncle, not having any of the things that I thought I needed, I wanted, or that I thought I deserved at that time. And it was the first thing that I know people saw when they met me. And I rarely meet people where it's not the first thing that I see, that I can tell the desperation is there, because I rarely meet people who tell me what they're doing. I often meet people who ask, can you help me? Or how do I do this? Or the following. Do you want to have coffee? Can I take you to coffee? Can I grab a coffee? I'd love to take you to coffee. Just pick your brain a little bit. Can I send you my script? Can you read my script? I have a script that I'd love for you to just check out when you can. Can you be my mentor? I really need a mentor. I would love if you could mentor me. Is it possible for us to talk? Can you? All that energy, all of that focus on trying to extract from other people is preventing you from doing. All of that other is desperation. I don't know if that makes sense. But when I figured that out, things started to change for me. When I'm meeting people one-on-one and they're coming up to me and I'm feeling the desperation, I can't say to them in that moment what I'm about to say to you right now, because it would be rude. But we're all here and we're safe, so I'm going to say it. Knock it off. Because it doesn't work. It's never going to work for you. That feeling of, I need help, I need all these things to proceed. And when I got that, a revolution happened for me, and that's when things started to change. I'm saying this because I was in that same place. All of the time you're spending trying to get someone to mentor you, trying to have a coffee, trying to, I don't know, all of the things that we try to do to move ahead in the industry. It's time that you're not working on your screenplay, strengthening your character arcs, thinking about your rehearsal techniques, setting up a table read to hear the words, thinking about symbolism in your production design, your color palette. All the time you're focusing on trying to grab, I need this, I don't have this. You're being desperate and you're not doing. You have to be doing something. Desperation, all that stuff is not active. It's not doing anything. It's not moving you forward because all of the so-called action is hinging on someone doing something for you. Does that make sense? Things started to go my way when I knocked it off. I didn't stop being desperate because things started to go my way. I changed my mind and things started to go my way. I simply realized that there's a difference between being hungry and passionate and being desperate and depressing. So folks ask, how have you done so much in the last 3 years? Since 2010, I've written and directed and produced 2 feature films, theatrically released and marketed them, started and currently run a distribution collaborative to distribute and market the work of other filmmakers like me, directed 3 docs for television, directed 2 concert films, directed branded content, directed a sports documentary, just finished episodic TV, about to start to prep the next feature, all because I knocked it off. By not pursuing the other, it left me hours and hours and hours to actually create work. That's time and energy spent on all the things you think are going to move you forward when the only thing that moves you forward is your work. That's it. And the desperation, it reeks off of you. Why? Because it's not a part of you. It's like a smelly coat you put on yourself. Until you take it off and free yourself from it, it's going to be very difficult to move forward. I found that to be the case. No one wants to be around a smelly coat. It's just the bottom line. And some of us don't even know we're wearing it. You may think I'm not talking to you. Maybe I'm not. I hope most of the people here don't fit this bill, but for the few that do, here's the test to know if you're wearing it. If you spend more time on any particular day thinking about how to get what you don't have, instead of looking at what you have and working with that. If you spend more time in the day thinking about what you don't have than working with what you have, then you're acting in a desperate manner and you're not doing. And until I changed my mind about that, I was really stuck. Until I said, I have an idea. I have a story, I have friends, I have access to a little bit of money, whether it's through Kickstarter, through borrowing, through savings, whatever. A little bit of money. My first film I made for $50,000. I could have made it for less than that if I would have known what I was doing. I have access to a camera because my friend has just bought that 5D, or I have an iPhone. Saw some guys in Poland showed me their film made on iPhones and iPads. Didn't know what they were saying, but it looked damn good to me. It was a full feature film. I was like, damn, no excuses. So I have a story, I have an idea, I have friends, I have a little bit of money, I have access to a camera, I have locations. My friend who, manages that restaurant. My brother's girlfriend's mom has that great backyard. Whatever. You have access to locations. Steal them. We all know we're gonna steal them. Steal what you need. If you just do it. Some of the best films have been made just taking a location, right? These are things you have. Focusing on those things instead of all the things you want, all the things you think you need, all the things you deserve. That's where I put my attention, and that's when things started to change for me. My posture started to change. My needs started to change. I was moving forward as opposed to standing still. I wasn't desperate anymore because I was making movies. The little itty-bitty movie, written for the little bit of money I had, written for the locations I had access to, for the camera I could borrow, but I was making movies. And that feeling of yearning is coupled with action. It's not desperation, it's passion. If you channel your desperation towards things that you have, it's passion. If you channel your desperation towards things that you don't have, it's desperation. It's stagnation. And it stinks, and people don't want to be around it. Just the bottom line. I was trying to figure out, why can't I move forward? It was like I was depressing. I was always asking for something. I was thinking I needed something. looked inward and started to gain some momentum. People want to be on a moving train. All of a sudden, I was on the train called, Yo, I'm making films. Right? There's different trains. You could be on the, I want to make films train. I wish I could make films train. I need help making films train. Those aren't fun trains. Yo, I'm making films train. I got this. I got a paper clip. I got this phone. I know this. I'm gonna make something now. Maybe it's not a film. Maybe it's a web series. Maybe it's a short. You gotta start, right? Look, as far as shorts are concerned, people are making full films on the money that they used to make shorts on. I'm like, I look at shorts, I'm like, well, why didn't you make it a feature? Because you could have for the same amount. Shorts are great. Please don't let the quote be that I hate shorts. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, the barriers to entry have changed. And it's all possible. You're at the starting point, a lot of you. At the beginning. Some of you are kind of in the middle. Like me, I feel like I'm just beyond the starting point, maybe just taking a step off the starting point, not even in mid-stride, like partial of the second step on what I hope is a really long walk. So I'm really kind of close to where we all are in this room, and I can just say the more that you can understand that the biggest weapon you have in this new content revolution is what you wear. Are you wearing this coat of desperation, or are you wearing your passion on your sleeve? Because one is a repellent and one is a magnet. One makes you a shadow of yourself and one enlarges you. One is, can you do this for me? Can you help me? And one is, what can I do? And who wants to come along for the ride? So I make films. I'm a filmmaker today against the odds because I took off that coat. I make films, I write them, I produce them, I distribute them, I market 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 them. I love them. You don't have to do all that, but do something. Because waiting for permission, waiting for help, waiting for understanding is not doing. So you gotta knock it off. That's what I started to tell myself. And that's when things started to change with me. I changed my posture. I found collaborators who were like-minded, not giving me a handout, standing with me shoulder to shoulder. That's who you want to have coffee with, right? Get active, define yourself, focus on your work, create your uniform, whatever that's going to be. I recommend a hipster t-shirt, you do you. But do the work. Work over other chatter. It'll get you further and leave the nasty coat behind. That's my speech. I'm sticking to it. Any questions? I'm happy to chat about it.